Yes.
All right, y'all. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you're tuning in. I'm grateful to have you here. And I know we've spent a significant amount of time talking about old Donald Trump on this channel, but do you see the crap fest we have going on in the country today? Can you blame me? I miss mean tweets and $2 gas. I don't know about y'all, but I'm probably going to be talking about old 45 until the next election. Sorry, not sorry. Let's get it popping.
I honestly was a Democrat like eons ago and slowly developed into the Republican view, yes.
What made you decide to walk away from the Democratic Party?
The way they were dealing with our country, as I said to you earlier, taking all of America's jobs across seas and giving them discounts. Cash for clunkers was a big disgrace because it shut down every single secondhand shop, like mechanic shop, steel industry. They took those cars and they drilled a hole in them and they didn't even give them to anybody. It was disgusting.
I actually got out of college whenever it was all starting, and now that it's coming back, I'm for Trump and I'm proud of what he's doing. So
yes, bringing jobs back to America, bringing opening what we can supply for our country instead of having the other countries having the upper hand.
I think I went through a stage in college where I was brainwashed by the system, but after that, that's living in Western Pennsylvania, that's we're all Republicans, basically.
We've all been there, brother. We've all been there. I think the saying goes if you're 20 years old and you vote Democrat, you have a heart. If you're 30 years old and you're still voting Democrat, you don't have a brain. Something along those lines. Y'all correct me in the comments, but I love to see it right here because I was a Democrat myself. I was raised kind of in that left, that victim mentality that the world, the government, somebody owes you something and nobody owes you anything. The sheer fact that you're here means you're blessed. God blessed you by creating you. The likelihood of you being on this earth versus not being here versus all being an animal or whatever else God could have made you. Come on now. We are blessed. Say, count your blessings every single day and be thankful that you're a human being and that you can go out and get it however you want to. You can go out and achieve the things that you want to. If it lines up with God's plan, you may have a whole idea, a system of where you think you're going, but God may throw you over here. That's a lot of the times what happens, but still.
I liked Obama and I was more left, but then he did terrible the second term, so I switched. I've been radicalized after Brett Kavanaugh.
Radicalized? What do you mean?
Oh, Brett.
I'm hardcore right. I'm never being a Democrat.
I was actually similar to him. I used to be pretty far left until Obama's second term, and he kind of showed what the left's true colors are.
Yep.
So
division.
What was it specifically, though, that made you walk away?
It's a lot of the legislation he was passing, a lot of stuff that he did that kind of showed that more the idea of the whole globalization, not in a economic, showing that he'd rather put other countries in front of America. When you're the leader of America, you should put America first.
You'd think,
so you've
right?
become
Common
pretty
sense
firm
would say that,
in disowning the Democrats after the fiasco with Kavanaugh. What really made you decide in that whole mess to walk away?
Pretty much when they just said that he has to prove his innocence and that it was
despicable,
a job
man.
interview. That's kind of crazy.
What they did to Justice Kavanaugh, that's ridiculous.
She's got to prove herself. I mean, she had no corroborating witnesses. That's insane.
What do you think about how Obama kept pushing for gun control? Would that have played into why you walked away from the Democrats?
1,000%, because I live over in New York State, and the gun laws they have there are just ridiculous. They're just destroying the Second Amendment, and that's something that you can't do.
I appreciate his stance, and gun control laws, especially on the left, are ridiculous. They want to take them out of your hands so they can have all the power, the upper hand. They don't want to allow you to defend yourself, not putting America first. When you're the leader of America, you'd think you want to lead America to that first position. That doesn't mean you're better than anyone, physically, mentally speaking. That just means that you're in charge of a country. You want them to do the best. You want them to succeed. I don't understand the thought process of taking care of everybody else, but your home base first. It doesn't add up.
She actually is the one who red-pilled our entire family because we were really afraid of President Trump. And then she started doing research, and we discovered that he is not a fascist, and Hillary Clinton really is a fascist.
Between the two, I was scared of both Trump and Hillary, but I knew, thanks Mom, I knew Hillary was worse. And so I actually made myself do research in hopes I'd find something that would prove, because you don't want to believe the president or whoever's going to be president is going to be this horrible, terrible man.
A lot of people called her Nazi at school. All my kids got called Nazis all the time. I lost a lot of friends. We lost family, but we're here. So.
That's so sickening, man. And more people should be like this young woman right here, digging deeper than surface level, digging deeper than what Fox News, CNN, MSDNC, AB, whatever news source or outlet you read, dig deeper, gather information from all sides, and then make a logical conclusion based on all the facts. There's always two sides to every story, and labeling somebody a Nazi, how horrible is that? This isn't the Holocaust. Trump ain't Hitler. He isn't out here thinking that white people are the overwhelming race and just killing everybody in a Nazi camp and extinct. Come on now, that's an extreme level of just ridiculousness and utter disrespect. I just hate how they label him, and they loved him before he got into politics, but once he became a politician, they didn't like that he was real deal Holyfield. They didn't like that he delivered on the things that he said he was going to do. Unlike old Biden, office 50 years, been given all these open-ended promises without actually coming through and coming behind those things and delivering on those things that he says he's going to do. It's sickening the things that politicians do. And that's what I loved about Trump. And that's why I think a lot of people switch sides, is because they saw that he was a real person, got things done, has a whole lot of wealth, but he earned that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Politicians aren't usually earning their way to the top. They usually lie their way to the top and then keep on lying just to keep that money in their pockets and not looking out for other people's well-beings.
So have you guys been Democrats before then?
Yeah, I'm a registered Democrat, but I do that to throw them off because I want to vote in the primary.
Smoke show.
I was in the union, but it really didn't take much for me to switch. Democrats are pathetic because the unions, they say they help people in jobs, but they really don't help people get jobs.
No. For like 20 years, we were living like hand to mouth. And under Obama, it seemed like nothing was going to get better at all, nothing. And it's
never did.
Really refreshing. Like I feel really good.
Did you guys vote for Obama?
I did the first time. I didn't want to because I've been pro-life my whole life, but I voted for him because he's the first black president, really.
Multiple things. First off, my man said it's good to breathe fresh air. That's the smell of freedom. Take a whiff. That's home of the free because of the brave, the men and women out there fighting for our country, not fighting to keep everybody else at the top, not fighting to get everybody else jobs around the world, fighting for us, dying for us. And then when she said pro-life all day long, y'all know I'm a man of the good book. God created that baby, that fetus or whatever zygote you try to label it as. That's a life. That's its own genetic set of DNA, can't duplicate it. Once conception happens, that's a life. Take care of it. You got a couple options. You can be abstinent. If rape is a situation that people like to jump to the extreme case of, there's adoption, there's raising the child. That blessing could become the next president and actually be out for people's interests and do good in the world. But killing a baby, that's never an option. That is a baby, in fact. So the fact that she's pro-life, I don't understand how she could have been on the Democrat side. But like she said, a lot of people voted for Barack because it was a new idea, a black president, a first black president. But nobody really dove deeper and saw, okay, he's black, skin tone, pigmentation, all that melanin. What's his character like, though? What's his moral values like? And he was evil to the core. Horrible.
With Trump, we all, recorded our vote to make sure that there was a picture because we were all ready to like shove it in someone's face if they,
Very determined.
We were very determined.
But also, I've noticed around here, it's been years, but our streets are finally being fixed. Haven't you noticed? Since Trump's been elected, from what I've noticed, our streets that were in pretty bad shape, they're finally working on them. And
Erie, just to say, brought Trump we made him win Pennsylvania, which made him win the presidency because we're the only ones that turned Erie. So there you go.
It's nice to drive on smooth blacktop and know that your tax dollars are being utilized for good, to get to work, to go make that money, to go collect that dinero for your family and to better the economy in America, not going towards killing babies, not funding Planned Parenthood and a bunch of nonsense, funding schools that then go around and take the Bible out of the education system, push all this nonsense on children. And I love when our tax dollars, our hard-earned tax dollars that we give to the government that they didn't earn, that they use them for things like roads that we use every single day. That's what I like to see. I love that. Now, let's go ahead and bring this back. I know this is an interview and you go see the full video. I'll link it in the description. But when there's a good talking point to be broken down, that's what I'm going to do. I love seeing these real everyday people right here. I know it's a few years old, but this is great.
So there you go.
Trump, #1, all the way. Yes. 6 more years.
Why do you support Trump?
Why not? He has done more for our country in what, a year and a half, 2
What's
years
in her cup?
than any other president has ever done, probably altogether.
Have
Some
you always
freedom juice.
considered yourself a Republican?
Actually, no. No. But I got smart. I got very wise.
When did you walk away from the Democratic Party?
Golly. Oh, probably about 10
Put
years
some clothes
ago.
on.
What made you decide to leave?
I don't like what they stand for or how they go about doing what they, try to accomplish. They think that all the American, men and women are stupid. And, we have a voice, and Trump has given it to us, and we're screaming.
People woke up.
What really
I
made
woke
me
up.
walk away from the Democratic Party is when they were telling me something that I knew wasn't true in my heart. And it's stuff like, if you might want to say, who to vote for, what their agenda was, and I find out it was different. And basically they wanted me to actually vote, actually blind without even finding out who Hank Johnson was and who Maxine Waters was and all these other people that are mixed up in the Democratic Party that happens to look like me. So I have a problem with that.
I've been chased, and I've been chased, rain. I've been having, believe it or not, I have been having, like, by me doing this talking to y'all in my head and stuff, I'm probably need to find me some little homebody, no. But
So you're being chased by who?
by the Black Lives Matter people, the protesters, like, and I go back to them and say, they have to understand them. And I tell them, like, why did you get me? What did I do to you? I'm not taking no food out your mouth. I'm not taking your money from your bills being paid. I'm not hindering you from growing in life. So why are you mad at me for doing what I want to do?
Right.
So you haven't been attacked or chased by any of the Trump supporters, though.
No Trump support. They love me.
I'm assuming that man was homosexual. That just sends an even more statement because everybody on the left likes to say that Trump's racist, Trump's he's transphobic, whatever it may be. And although I don't agree with somebody going the gay route, these different extremes that society likes to paint is okay because it goes against godly principles. But the fact that they choose to do that, that's on them. They'll have to face that judgment. But the fact that they're still voting for Trump, despite all those things that are being said on the left that are false, that's a huge statement. And ain't it crazy how these Trump supporters, this looks like a giant rally, how they behave. They're civil, they're logical, there's no screaming, no whining. And better yet, there's absolutely no hatred. And we may heavily disagree on what's going on today in 2022 with the Biden administration, but that's because they're cray-cray and they don't fear God. That's why I don't get down with them. But can you blame us? Can Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, the whole cabinet, everything they try to push on the left, can you blame us for despising what they stand for? Even though we disagree with it, I always say we need to pray for them and we always need to root for them to turn the ship around because at the end of the day, we're all God's children. We all came from Adam and Eve. We're all going to die. We all bleed the same colors. We all bleed the same color red when we get injured or something happens to us. So we should all be taking care of each other. And although some people choose to take that satanic, that evil route, killing babies, trying to take our freedoms, all that sort of stuff, you still got to root for them to one day be saved. And if they can't, then let's at least get some folks in there with some leadership and common sense skills back in office to know how to run our country, like a Donald Trump, like a Ron DeSantis. That's just my 2 cents on it, but let's go ahead and bring this thing back.
No Trump support. They love me.
Generally, I don't super support him. I'm just here to have a good time.
But you'll have that at a Trump rally. You'll always have a good time, at least.
I think that the left wing right now isn't doing us any favors. Right wing not doing us a lot of favors, but they're doing more than the left wing. Vote third party.
Yeah. So libertarian, is that what you're saying?
Classical liberal.
Classical liberal.
Pass.
So have you always been a little bit more of a liberal?
No thanks.
Yeah, I would say so.
Bernie Sanders first, and then I looked at Bernie. But when I saw Mr. Donald Trump,
That was a cult.
that's what changed
Bernie
me
Sanders.
over, because I knew he was pure in his heart of what he wanted to do. And when they rejected him, I was in Detroit when he came to the ministers and asked just to sit down and talk. It was so much resistance. So now that I see that the unemployment rate for blacks is at its all-time low, and you still won't get people to understand that there's some change going on, I know that I can bring other people over by just giving them the facts, just the way I learned. So it's just a lot of misinformation, and it caused me to change.
You go to the doctor nowadays, they're going to prescribe a red pill because conservatism will restore some common sense to this country. Vote red. Look at the person who's running, obviously, but if you got DeSantis and you got Trump running in 2024, I don't think you could go wrong. I honestly don't know who I'll vote for. I would like to know, who would y'all vote for if it's Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump on the Republican Party, or a third candidate that I'm not even acknowledging? Would you ever vote left again? Would you ever vote for a Democratic candidate knowing that they're not pro-life, knowing that they're not pro-gun, knowing that they're trying to take even more tax dollars that they didn't earn, knowing that they're pushing that handout victim mentality? What would y'all do? Great video by Millennial Millie and going out there and being brave and interviewing real everyday people, seeing what the truth is on the streets, not what this news media pushes, not this headline that they sit behind a keyboard and type out, all this false propaganda, this hate. On all sides, they do that. But when you get out there and talk to real, everyday, honest working people on any side, interview them, get their actual opinion, that's what it's all about right there. So shout out to Millennial Millie, InfoWars, everybody who made that possible. I do want to flash it back to, y'all remember when Obama kept saying, what does Trump think he's going to do? Wave a magic wand and poof, there's more jobs. Guess what? Trump got in there and Obama said it wouldn't work like that. It wouldn't be that simple. But Trump got in there, lo and behold, and poof, there's more jobs. There's lowest unemployment rates in Black history, even though all unemployment rates is what matters. Let's all get out there and work. Let's all get out there and grind and earn your keep day in and day out. That's what it's all about. And Trump did that. That's what I love about him. He was a businessman and he knew how to do business. God bless a president that takes care of home first. God bless President Trump. And real quick, y'all know on this channel, I'm a man of faith because that changed my life. My wife directed me towards the gospel, and that's what changed everything for me in the most positive, best direction that you could ever go. And that's looking towards Jesus, because he took on the cross for all the sin in the world. So when you look to him, you're saved. We've all sinned in the past, but when you look to Jesus, you can begin a whole new life. You can begin a whole new process and journey towards heaven. That's the goal someday, is for all of us to get to heaven. Now, if you keep going that sinful path, it's going to get toasty. And some people don't like to hear that. Well, that's the truth. And I'm putting all my eggs in that basket, because without God, without Jesus, without that Holy Spirit that we've been gifted because Jesus was resurrected and beat death, without that, what do you have? Nothing means nothing. Everything that you get up and do every day has no purpose. It has no value. People have no value. Laws have no value. Everything means nothing. And I will never get on board with that being the case. We should love God and love people, and we all got value. All these sides and things like that, at the end of the day, is really irrelevant. We should be looking up. And wherever God leads us, whatever that leans to, which is usually on the right side, because those people are pro-life, pro-freedom. God gave us free will. That's where I lean. Now, has there been bad conservative candidates? Absolutely. There's bad on all fronts. But usually if you really take a look and dive into the facts, people on the conservative side line up more with what Christian values stand for. And I like to dish out some biblical soul food on this channel, just to not give you with just some empty knowledge and empty opinions. I want to take it to the facts, the good book, the Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth. And today we're in 1 Corinthians 16, verse 13. Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, and be strong. Act like men and be strong. So be bold, stand up for what you know the truth is. And no matter what confrontation comes your way, whatever evil comes knocking, be strong, defend the ones you love, defend what you know is the right godly way. No matter how hard it's been, whatever we got running our country, whatever crap show we got to see on TV and out in the streets, God's going to work it all together for the good. And he works it all together to serve his purpose. We're here to serve his kingdom. Don't ever get it twisted. Now, we see this evil. We see people taking those demonic routes. But guess what? God's going to bring that wrath. God's going to make it all right. He's going to give them exactly what they deserve. And hopefully you want them to be saved. You pray for them. You pray for this country. But you got to focus on what you can control, what's in front of you. Take care of your loved ones. Take care of your business at hand, and be a better person each and every single day. Spread truth. Don't spread all this hostility, all these lies, all this nonsense that's being pushed in schools and all media, social media, whatever it is. Don't get on board with that wagon just because it sounds cool, because it's getting the views, because it's trendy. Stay firm, stay true, and stay bold in the faith. And that's what's going to get you where you're trying to go. That's what's going to bring you peace and happiness in the long run. But hey, I can rant all day. I want to hear y'all thoughts. Comment them down below. And remember, we can have a differing opinion and still be civil and have a discussion. That's the beautiful thing about not only YouTube comments, but freedom of speech here in America that we luckily still have, and we got to keep those rights. But share your opinion down below. I would love to keep this conversation rolling. If you like these sort of videos, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, hit that, it's a like button, subscribe, notification bell so you can stay up to date on all my videos. Share this video, get it out in front of other people so they can see what real everyday people actually think about Donald Trump, former Democrats just like myself, switching over because common sense, it's not that common anymore, but when you share and push this right here, push facts on to people, eventually they'll wake up. Eventually they'll take a step back and make their own decisions, not what they're being spoon-fed and told to think. They'll have their own thought process, and that's a beautiful thing. But outside of that, if you want to support my channel, support what I do over here, you can always buy me a coffee, donate on PayPal. You can check out all the links in my description, all the products I use, books that I read, things that I need to make these videos. All that stuff is linked in the description. If you need to get a hold of me, Devin at dgibson.com for prayer or anything like that. Devgibson.com is my official website. All my stuff is over there as well. But I'll see y'all in the next one. I love you. Godspeed. I'm gone.